action fanatics, welcome to a super edition of the Bulletproof podcast. I'm your host, Chris the Brain, and joining me once again, it is the toy man, Christy Petrillo.
Brain, you know I love a good fight night, so what better way to have a fight night than right here on the podcast with a super fight night?
Well, let's see if we get to fighting, and somebody who definitely, he loves to fight. He's always fighting somebody online. It is the one and only Ryan Campbell.
Fight night! Psh, smash beer bottle overhead.
All right.
It was a breakaway one, though, so it's okay. I didn't actually hurt myself.
Brain smashed some coffee cake over his head. That's all he had nearby.
I don't have coffee cake because I don't have company to have coffee cake with. I don't even have a coffee maker in my house. Well, I think I have one, but I don't know where it is. What say you?
I have a coffee maker, but right now she's upstairs sleeping.
Oh my word! That's somebody's going to take offense to that, and you.
Well, they shouldn't, because she's the only one who makes coffee, because she's the only one in the house who drinks coffee.
Okay. All right. Well, there you go. Anyway, you know what you could do, folks? You can get yourself a cup of coffee if you'd like, or whatever your favorite beverage is, and check out bulletproofaction.com. Later this week, Matt Spector will be throwing it back to the Wild Pair. I'm sure that is a movie that Toyman owns, has a VHS copy of, or is very fond of for some reason. True or false?
Somewhere in the archives, for sure.
There you go. Thank you. I've never seen it myself, but you could check it out this Thursday. Then we'll also...
How could you not own it?
I don't know that I own anything with Bubba Smith in it.
None of the police academies? You don't have at least one of them in the collection?
I don't. You know, I think I saw like a 4-pack, or maybe it was all of them at Big Lots once, and I'm like, oh, I should pick this up. And then I'm like, maybe I probably didn't have it. I'm like, well, you know what? I don't have the money for it. I'll get it next time. And then I never saw it again in my life. So
I know what you're talking about. It was the like the 4 funny films type of compilation thing that Warner Brothers put out. Yeah, it was part 1 through Citizens on Patrol. Yep, I know exactly what you're talking about.
And I'm like, I don't really need this right now. I don't really have again, it'll be here when I come back. It was never there when I came back. But yeah, so you could check that one out. Also, I'll have a review of the new of Misdirection, which stars Frank Grillo and Olga Kurylenko. That's coming out on February 10th, but I'll have my review up on Friday and over on our YouTube channel sometime before the 10th of February. There will be an interview with the director of Misdirection, Kevin Lewis. I had a chance to chat with him recently. So
say that one 5 times fast.
I know it's a late one here, and my mouth is already asleep, I think, but that's all right. We'll get through this. I also want to talk about something because we haven't had one in a while, but we're going to have it now. If you go to bulletproofaction.com, you'll see it. It's a giveaway. It's a contest. This time we've got digital copies of Anaconda, and you could be the first to watch the hilarious thrill ride Anaconda at home, starring Jack Black, Paul Rudd, Steve Zahn, and Tendawe Newton. Is that how you say her name? I think so. Anyway, you can get it on digital today. And you can get your chance to win it on digital today over at bulletproofaction.com. So check that out. You just fill out the form and you will be in, and I will probably be pulling those winners. Let's see. Let me check my calendar. How about we pull those on Friday, February the 6th. Check it out. That you'll have something to watch that weekend. So you have a few days to get on that if you have not already been over there and done it. So there we go. Now, gentlemen, as we promised our folks last week, we were going to go back into the seasonal vault and check out a movie called Superfights. This one was released sometime in 1995, Toyman. There's not really a good date on this one. When do you remember first seeing this film?
I don't remember anything specifically from my local video stores. I remember when this was getting replayed incessantly on HBO, along with things like American Shaolin. They were like those late afternoon, early evening films back before
I swear
HBO
to
had the
God.
block of channels that were playing everything during the
had
day.
some kind of Rhode Island HBO, because I've never seen any of these things on HBO, or I just wasn't paying attention, or I was at work.
You weren't paying attention. These were like the 4 p.m. on a Tuesday movies.
So I was working, is what you're saying.
Yes, but so was I.
Huh? I don't understand how you could be in multiple places at once, but yeah, this is one
Don't forget, I was working at the family bakery. I was working overnights during the summer, or I was working after school, or I'd be working later. So
you know what?
At least for the first part of my teen years.
Even if I tried to forget, you'd remind me. So there's that. But yeah, this is one I did not discover. Like I think just about the only one I ever saw seasonal wise prior to being a part of this bulletproofaction.com experiment that has gone on for damn near 12 years now is the original No Retreat, No Surrender. I don't think I saw any of I know I didn't see any of the other ones prior to the website days. So this was one that I caught. Again, I talked about it when we did our Black Creek episode. R. Marcos Taylor was the first one to put this up on YouTube. There's a couple more copies up there now. But I was like, oh, what is this? Okay. And, it's seasonal, and they all have their little charm to them. And obviously, I know this was Ryan Campbell's first chance to see this movie.
It was, yes. This was one that I don't think we had watched before. So, but hey, it's Rumble season. It seemed like a perfect time to sit down and check it out.
And it is because, we start off right away because we hear about these super fights, and it's the world's most popular pay-per-view sporting event. And
live from the ECW arena, apparently.
Yeah.
No Showboat Clown, though. They did not have a Showboat Clown in the front row.
No, he wasn't there. But we did see some of the super fighters like Dark Cloud, played by the one and only Chuck Jeffries, and his tag team partner, Night Stalker, played by Brian Ruth. They get a big tag team win. Then we see who is announced as the most beautiful super fighter of them all, Angel.
Yeah, I'm gonna, I'm gonna apologize for my comments on the Substitute podcast because, at least Jane was supposed to be a teacher. Just she's not supposed to be a model or the most beautiful anything. She's just a teacher. She's just an average Jane Doe. As it
here
were.
he goes. Here he goes again.
Angel here. This is predating China's debut as Triple H's bodyguard by about 2 years, but we're bordering on the China Nicole Bass territory, and the fact that they position her as the
most beautiful
female franchise, but as oh my God, all these guys are obsessed with her, and she's so seductive. It's like, no, like as the movie goes on, we saw more beautiful women in the role of like passerby or henchwomen or underlings or whatever you want to call them.
Toyman is not big on the muscle mommies, I don't think.
Yeah,
no.
Did you want to add to the misogyny, Ryan Campbell?
No, I'm good. I think she was more attractive than both China and Bass, so I wouldn't put her. It was
really the angle. Like you could see her, and I was like, okay. But then there was other times like, whoa. But anyway, maybe it's like the lighting.
She kind of had Batman the animated series jaw.
She has quite a strong jaw. Listen now. All right. It could be like that Seinfeld with the lighting. Like depending on the light, the woman was either. Well, it doesn't matter. Anyway, so
when the lights are totally off, you're fine.
Anyway, Angel gets a win, and then it's main event time as Budokai takes on
No Mercy Budokai.
No Mercy Budokai. He takes on the enforcer Ryan Campbell. I'm coming to you. Did you recognize Budokai?
I did, but it's one of those ones where I'm sure it's been a bunch of different stuff, so I couldn't really pinpoint exactly what it was.
I think it was.
But I did know that I had seen him before in other stuff.
He was the drill sergeant in American Shaolin.
Ah, yes, it's because he was bald then.
He was bald then because he was a monk. Here he had hair and face paint. played by Cliff Lenderman, who recently, I think late last year, he was having some health issues, but I think the most recent update I saw from him on Facebook was he was on the road to recovery, so that is good news for Mr. Lenderman.
Yay, somebody give him some chi healing.
Yeah, and so he takes on the Enforcer, and the Enforcer, he doesn't wait for the ring. He just attacks Budokai on the outside, and this is where super fan Jack Cody,
oh my gosh,
played by Brandon Gaines, he gets involved. This is not something that should be encouraged if you're at a sporting event, folks, but here Jack Cody, Ryan Gamble, he gets involved in the action.
Yeah, and Enforcer starts like going after him more than even Budokai, and they're yeah, it was he just says fuck you to the date he had at the time. It seemed like it was, maybe they weren't, but the lady that goes like, "You into this?" and he's like, "Hell yeah, I am, bitch! Get out of here if you ain't involved with this."
Yeah, he did.
She leaves. He's like, "All right." Yeah, he's a super fan. I don't even think begins to describe old Jack Cody.
Yeah,
they should have named him Mark Cody.
Oh, that's a very offensive word to some people. Toyman's being real controversial today.
I know, he's bringing the fire tonight, man.
It's no mercy, Toyman tonight.
Oh my word! Anyway, so Budokai shows no mercy to Enforcer and picks up the win, and there's our show, folks. Now the next day we meet we see Jack Cody again, and this time he's at work. But boy, this is I mean, come on now, folks. We all can get away with some screwing around at work, but this is taking it to an extreme level, Ryan Campbell.
Yeah, he's got like a whole like Ninja Warrior training set with like dummies and contraptions and everything, like Rube Goldberg-esque stuff, and he's just cartwheeling around, high yawing, high kicking, and then of course after a flawless routine, he bumbles himself into a box as he gets caught by his coworker.
Yeah, Frankie shows up. He calls him Jean-Claude Van Dunce and tells him, get back to work. We got orders to fill here at the whatever
this place is.
This warehouse.
I guess like a sporting goods stuff, because it seemed like a lot of the mannequins had like hockey helmets or stuff on, so maybe it's like
and obviously Jack Cody is quite the athlete, and it probably appealed to him. He's like, oh, that'll help me. We also see that Jack has movie posters on the wall, Toyman, and he's got some good ones up there. He's got The King of the Kickboxers and Rapid Fire.
Two classics.
Two movies that we've covered here on this podcast. Look in the archives.
And decorating his work wall. I guess those of us that had cubicles, maybe we decorate our cubicles, but can you imagine just putting posters up like out in the warehouse at your work like that?
No, but I had an office at one point, and you know what I had hanging in my office?
Ooh, what poster was it? Was it a American Ninja poster?
No. Toyman, do you want to take a guess?
I know who it wasn't signed by.
Yeah, it wasn't my Fist of Iron poster. That's gone.
Was it a Remo Williams poster?
No, that would have been a good one, though. It was Iron Eagle.
Oh, okay.
That's a good workplace poster.
Right, it didn't have
guns on
it.
I
didn't want to have Bronson with a gun. Like, well, I mean, this is fighter jet, but, that's patriotic.
Yeah.
A magazine is also seen where the cover says, "Where's Rocco?" And we're not talking about the Legion of Dooms Rocco. We're talking about the old school super fighter Mike Rocco, who
little visual storytelling for you. I like it.
He was played by Jungle Jim Steele, Toyman.
Yeah, the short-lived WCW star who made a bigger name for himself traveling over to Japan after that. But I remember him vividly from WCW in 1994. Right.
Yeah, and you know what? When I first watched this, I did not connect that was Jungle Jim Steele. And here's another thing about Jungle Jim Steele. He played like Iron Mike Sharp in a Ricky Dozan movie. Number one, I didn't know there was a Ricky Dozan movie, and I sure as hell didn't know that Jungle Jim Steele played Iron Mike Sharp. But that's what IMDb told me. And now I'm like, well, no.
He has a few different looks in this movie, so maybe that's just,
Right. I'm a bit
And this was 1995, so this was right around the time that he got chokeslammed in ECW. He showed up in 911, just decimated him.
Yeah. And wasn't this shot in Pennsylvania? I feel like it may have been.
I'm surprised there isn't some more like aspiring or ex-wrestlers or something in it. I wonder what the story behind that is.
Well, there's one more, and we'll get to him in a little while.
Do you remember what his gimmick was when he went over to Japan?
I do not.
He was based on Wolf Hawkfield from Virtua Fighter. If you played Virtua Fighter when you were a kid,
I didn't.
He was based on a fighting game gimmick. So worlds kind of colliding there.
I think you're making that whole thing up, but that's all right. Jungle Jim. He was Mike Rocco, but apparently he's disappeared and no one knows where he is. So there's that, and we see that our friend Jack Cody met him when he was a young boy, and so that's probably why Ryan Campbell, that left such an impression on him that's all he's ever wanted to do now with his life is be a super fighter.
Oh, for sure. I can tell you like every instance of like at that age of a wrestler meeting them, and then how that just like to a kid that age, you watch these larger than life heroes, and even if you met bad guys, I remember meeting Chris Jericho once, and he was a heel at the time, but even meeting him as a heel was like that was it. He was cool now. I felt like I was on the inside then at that point,
Yeah. Yeah. The first wrestler I met, who it was? Anyone want to venture a guess on this one?
Mine would have been Coco Beware.
Oh, I worked with Coco.
You did, but I don't know. Was it like? I guess I'll ask. Was it like I guess there wouldn't have been a lot of indie shows, so it was probably an official WWF event, wasn't it, Ben? I don't know. Tell me, Brain.
It was an appearance. Toyman, do you want to try it for a guess?
Can you give us the year?
WWF guy?
It was WWF. It was from 1992.
Tatanka.
That would have been good. No, it wasn't Tatanka.
One of the Bushwhackers.
It wasn't a bushwhacker.
Okay.
It was the perfect wrestler to meet as your first person to meet. It was Mr. Perfect.
Oh, that's a good one.
Very cool.
He was at like the sports and outdoorsman show.
Yeah.
And at first I was like, that's odd. But then, later in life you find out, oh yeah, he was big into hunting and fishing and all that. So he probably was like, yeah, I want to go. And
well, that's like for years here, the auto show every single year would have wrestlers for whatever show or for whatever reason here in Cincinnati. Like there would always be at the Cavalcade Customs auto show, there would always be wrestlers there.
So Mr. Perfect, he was the first wrestler I met. And then I think it was probably like either Jerry Lawler, or Road Warrior Animal. I don't remember which show. Then that was like when sports cards were big too, And they'd have all those sport card shows and they'd bring that. So, but anyway.
Let us know in the comments who first time you ever met like a.
Yeah.
If you're into pro wrestling, I'm sure there's a big cross-reference of our listeners and pro wrestling fans, so let us know.
Right. I'd be very intrigued. At home, though, we find out, who's not a fan of the super fights and super fighters and all that? It's Jack's mom. She's not on board. She doesn't want him being a professional wrestler, in her words.
Funny story about that. I was for my coming out to my parents that I was training for professional wrestling. Was we were at Longhorn Steakhouse.
Oh yeah,
just having like lunch or whatever, and I told them that I was going to start training. I had already paid for it and everything, and
did your mom flip the table over?
No, they're heavy tables there, Brain. If you've ever been to a Longhorn,
well, I have.
But
rage, motherly rage. Mothers could lift cars when need be.
I don't know what her response was. Neither of them were like upset about it. I think they were just kind of like, okay, and but the funniest part was like someone walks over from like two tables down and asks for my autograph on a napkin, and they said they overheard the story and they just wanted to get it in case it would be worth something someday. That's a true story.
So you were that potentially person's first wrestler that
maybe met. Yeah, I don't know. They got some early rookie sensation Ryan Campbell autographs out there.
So yeah, if Ryan Campbell, if you're out there listening, put Ryan Campbell's name in the YouTube comments.
Maybe.
But yeah, when she
But yeah,
brings,
they were not nearly upset as his mom.
yeah, his mom's very upset, and then she's like, "Your father would not want this for you," and that sets Jack off. And whoa, wait a minute, that sets Jack Cody off.
Poor choice of words there, Brain.
And he storms off.
Is that a fraudulent slip?
There's all kinds of offs here, and he goes away. And
everyone's getting jacked off, Brain. It's all over the place.
He's jacked off, and he's pissed off, and he's just frustrated. So I'm just gonna go clear my head. I'm gonna just drive around in my cool Jeep, and he's driving by this ATM machine, and this is one of the world's most.
Oh, so you got to edit yourself there because first he's getting jacked off, now he's going to an ass to mouth machine.
I thought he was going looking for like an.
What are you doing, Toy Man? Don't you know what an ATM is? Don't they have those where you
fun? You know, the M stands for machine, so saying ATM machine is redundant.
All right, that's going to wrap up this episode of the Bulletproof Podcast.
Stay tuned for more.
We've finally broken brain. Superfights is broken brain.
These two, I know. This is why. Okay, anyway, there's an ATM.
There you go.
And this Sally, nice young lady named Sally, she's there trying to get money out, which is what one does at the ATM. Of course, you could deposit money as well, but she's getting some money out. And these guys are like, we're going to get your money, and we're going to, but Jack sees it. And they're like, just keep on rolling, buddy. And he's like, fuck that. And he drives up on the sidewalk. And then he gets out of his Jeep and he starts kicking everybody's ass and he saves the day. And then he's like, all right, Sally, I'm going to drive you home. She's like, oh, I'd love for you to meet my grandfather.
Do they know each other at this point? I don't know if I just missed that or.
No, this is their first time meeting.
Some hot Asian ass as he was driving by and thought he'd.
Word, here we go. Yeah, that's what he did. He saw some hot Asian ass and said, I'm gonna get in on that.
This podcast is going into places tonight.
Yeah, he's like, I'm going to help this. No, he sees somebody in trouble and he's a good person and he gets involved.
Okay. I just didn't know if they like knew each other because
I don't believe they
kind of act like they know each other, but okay.
No, but he takes her home and she's like, we got to meet why don't you meet grandfather? So Jack's probably thinking like, I just saved this girl. Man, this guy's going to be all like, oh, thank you so much for saving my granddaughter. Instead, he's like, what the hell are you fighting for in the streets? You could have got hurt. She could have got hurt. And then he's like, what's your fighting style? And Jack's like, I just do whatever works. So
terrible answer.
Right.
If an Asian man dressed like that ever asks you what your fighting style is, you got to come up with something.
Right.
Those are some words to live by out there for you guys. So if you ever find yourself in a situation,
you might, and I'm sure that could happen really at any time. So then he's like, all right, let's do the one touch challenge, and he puts Jack Cody's hand in some flour, and this way we could be. It's kind of like paintball. We'd have a record that you got me, but he never does. He fails so big.
He also like grabs his hands and like rolls them in and they pop. And for whatever reason, when I watched that, like it looked really satisfying. Like I want that to happen to my hands. Like it looked like, like that perfect crack when you crack your knuckles. It looked like it would feel good. So I don't know.
Again, ladies and gentlemen, I'm super fighting my way through this one. So
I'm sitting here trying to like fold my hand in to get it to pop. It's not working.
Don't hurt yourself. You might need that hand later. Listen now. Jack gets Jack fails big time, Toy Man. He does not touch he doesn't do shit. Grandfather schools his ass, as they say. Who's they?
It's just setting up grandfather to be his fatherly figure, because that they're not introducing grandfather just for the comic relief or to give him shit for taking his granddaughter out. That this wise old Asian gentleman is going to play a role in the plot at some point in this film.
You're right, Toy Man. And when he gets home, there is a media circus outside, and he's like, "What is going on?" And they're, "Oh, you saved whatever." And he gets in, and his mom is she's whistling a much different tune than when he left. She's so proud of him, and she's like, "You should go out and grant the press an interview." And he's like, "Whoa, and he does.
I gotta say, Brain, I'm very impressed with this town. Do we know what city this is? Did they ever say what city this is?
They don't.
Okay. Whatever city this is, they have a very well-informed community because every single freaking person must have been watching the news that night because what happened the next day, Brain.
Well, one person who was definitely watching the news is the one and only Robert Sawyer, played by Keith Vitale, who we have talked about on this podcast before. And he is not just any old guy. He is the Superfights promoter. And he sees Jack Cody and he sees himself an all-American hero. So he's like, "Secretary, get Jack Cody at my office. I don't want any agents with him. I don't want anything. Just bring him here." But yes, now to your point, Ryan Campbell, Jack Cody goes out for a Rocky-esque like jog.
Yeah, he does this in every single person. Not only like solve the story, but are obsessed with this guy. They've become fanboys overnight. He must have an amazing marketing team because he's going by school buses and all the kids are like, "That's American hero Jack Cody," and they're all rolling windows like, "Jack Cody, yeah!" He's got ladies being like, "We're running my way, Jack Cody," yeah, and everything.
Right.
This town has got Jack Cody fever, Brain.
This was filmed in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. So I would assume that this is Harrisburg, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
Any city, USA.
Which will come into play here in a little bit. We'll get into there in a moment. So yeah, he goes out the world, as he said, Ron Campbell, Jack Cody fever. Jack gets home after, his ego's got to be huge, and he's like, "Oh."
He does a heck of a jump at the top of the city
Oh
hall.
yeah,
he does little rocky steps.
Yep, he does the steps and everything. I'm like, Mom's like, "Oh no, I don't want you being a super fighter. You can't do that. That's horrible. I'm gonna go meet Robert Sawyer anyway. I don't need you to help me tie my tie." So then he gets to the offices of
Quick poll. Can you guys all tie your own tie?
Yes.
Oh, that's 3 for 3. Well done, team. Good job. We're all ready for the world.
We are. And not Sheila either. But listen now.
I was going to make the reference.
Beat you to it. Now, we're waiting. He's waiting to get in to see Mr. Sawyer. And, here comes the door opens. There's Night Stalker. There's Budokai. There's Dark Cloud. And they're all like, "Oh, welcome, man. Welcome to the Super Fights.
You're my hero. Let me shake the hand of the American hero, Jack Cody." Just
there.
Hamming it up. My BS meter would be through the roof, Brain.
Right. Well, again, though, he is blinded by this dream that he's had.
I guess. Maybe I'm self-deprecating enough. I'd be like, "Guys, I'm not this special."
Ever since the day he met Mike Rocco and got that pendant from him, he has just been all about it. So now he's in Sawyer's office, and he is almost literally bouncing off the walls, Toy Man.
Yeah, full of energy, just kind of, "Oh, shucks, I'm so happy to be here. I would love to be a part of these super fights." And like I said, they should have named him Mark Cody because he is basically living out the boyhood dream minus the zip line.
And then he's like, "All right, I'm going to offer you a spot on the Super Fights." Does so. Okay. And here is going to be your trainer, Jack. And in comes the strong-jawed Angel. And
she's the franchise female of the Super Fights, but she's also the trainer.
Yep. That's right.
They want to lure him in. They're just trying to.
Yeah, who could resist the charms?
It's like Angel. A honeypot, They gotta.
Whoa! Isn't Honeypot the character in 9 Deaths of the Ninja?
Oh yeah, Brain, 100%. I know this.
Man, do you know it?
I can't even tell you how many bastards.
Off my head, I cannot remember.
I'm gonna have to look it up. Everybody, hold on, everyone.
There are 4 bastards in that movie.
For you.
9 Deaths of the Ninja.
Honey Hump.
Damn it.
That's better.
Speaking of damn it, Blackie Dammit played Albie the Cruel, and he is Anthony Kiedis' dad. from Red Hot Chili Peppers. To throw in just another dated reference. That's a little bit more recent, though, than Ready for the World, Oh Sheila. So, there's a little...
You took this podcast to some higher ground with that one.
Thank you. Couldn't get any lower. Anyway, so yeah, then he has this giant-ass contract. Like, oh, you don't have to look over all of it. Let me just go over the high points for you. And next thing you know, Jack is whisked off to a new bachelor pad, Ryan Campbell.
Yeah, he's got the nice condo of a middle-aged divorced dad. Really moving up in the world, Brain. I'm a middle-aged divorced dad.
You don't have that condo.
It's size-wise, mine's about the same. Might not be as 90s white, but yeah.
You're right. Well, anyway.
I have a nice 3-bedroom.
You do. It's a very nice establishment.
Yeah. Got a good thing going here.
And you didn't have to sign a giant-ass contract with
I didn't. I didn't have to sign my life away. I just have to pay a landlord. It sometimes feels like Keith Battalia's character in this movie.
Ooh.
Sometimes he sends me out to local Chinese restaurants to rough people up for some protection money, but it's all good. I get a good discount.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. And speaking, they go out on the town. He's out in the town with the boys. Everybody's having a good time. But then the next day, Jack has to report to the quasi-futuristic training center.
Quasi-futuristic training center.
There's like a light gimmick that you have to punch, and it can tell things about.
I'll say this, Brain. That actually seems like probably, given at the time, a pretty accurate way to measure that. Because if you're, that's not terribly out of the norm of what they actually do, because when your fists break the light stream, the computer can register that as an input. So it may even be more accurate than like some sort of pressure-based system that has to that's mechanical. You're literally just, when you break the light stream, bam, it registers it. So that's actually, of course they dress it up with like smoke and shit, but
right.
As for reading stuff, that's not terribly out of the norm. We use like IR detection and kind of do stuff like that. So, and when he goes into when he first goes into the reaction room, I thought they were just lights on the wall that would blink and you put your hands in front of them, because that's an actual thing that athletes do. But no, they're straight up pistons that try to destroy you.
Right. Yeah. It's very Shaolin Temple-like in that regard. And he's asked, or is told early on, don't ask too many questions about anything that's going on here. And that's probably a good thing for you, the viewer, as well. Just don't ask too many questions and go along for the ride. Angel is impressed by Jack's numbers. And then, Toyman, she does some seductive vital sign testing.
Yeah, she's impressed by his numbers and then tries to get impressed by his member. And shockingly, Mr. Cody does not jump at the chance or jump on the chance, as it were, to take advantage of this seductive little playtime with the girl that he was just fawning over in the opening moments of the film.
Do you think
seems a little taken aback by the sexual harassment in the workplace?
Yeah, he's kind of all over the place in this movie. Like, he seems like he's kind of down for it, and it's every dream and he's ever wanted, and then he kind of he'll make out with her, but then be like, I can't, it's not right. He's kind of all over the place. I can't figure it out.
I was going to ask if he thought his member did a little jump when she, anyway. But listen, Angel then gives him being Jack, no pronouns here, Jack, the official super fighter vitamins.
Yeah, I don't think those were as popular as the Flintstones vitamins. I don't remember a commercial jingle getting stuck in your head for super fighter vitamins.
No, and I have to wonder, because we're going to find out about these vitamins, but we'll get into that. We then get a training montage, and we find out, Ryan Campbell, that there's a Super Fighter theme song.
Oh, and it's a heck of a theme song. There's some good lines in there. Definitely head on over. Maybe we'll put a link in the description, but I'm sure on YouTube you can just get just the theme song. Go check it out.
The ad-libs make that song. The ad-libs in it are just wonderful.
It is some.
It even has some subtle clues about that things may not be what they seem. It's pretty good.
Jack catches a glimpse of Angel in her locker room.
And she's got a nice body. I'll give her that.
Mm-hmm. Toyman, do you want to say anything more incriminating? Maybe about a paper bag or anything?
Butterface. The old Jim Cornette Butterface.
Her towel wasn't the only thing that dropped during that scene.
I don't. Okay. Anyway. Once again, folks, I'm thankful that you listened. And all right, Sally. So Jack's now Jack has. It looked like it was a geo tracker, was it not? Was it a geo tracker that he was driving?
I believe it was a geo tracker.
The second, not the first time, but yeah, his new vehicle.
Yeah, now he's got a new ride.
Kind of downgraded from a Wrangler to a geo tracker.
But geo tracker is pure 90s though.
My best friend in the 90s, his dad had like a red geo tracker, and when we would take that top down in the summertime and cruise around, it was pretty cool. I'll give him that.
Did Sally spot you and was like, ooh?
She did not know.
Okay, well, anyway, then we see Jack sparring with Angel, and Sawyer pops his head in, and he's like, like what I'm seeing here. Jack, your first fight will be sooner than later. And now he's all excited. Sally gets home. There's a flyer in the mail about Jack's first fight. So they're doing some grassroots promotion here. Even though it's the most you see, that's a lesson to learn, indie company.
There you go. Listen, everybody.
Just because you're the most you never can get too many people. There's no such thing as too many people to know about your show. So
that's right. Some of you guys get like 200 followers on Instagram, and you think you don't have to
fly. You don't have to pound the pavement. Right? You got to get out there. So yeah, even Mom ends up showing up for this first fight, which again seems to be Enforcer seems to just be like the ultimate job guy, Toyman.
Yeah, we saw him getting his ass kicked by Jack Cody when he was a fan in the beginning. So I mean, I guess you can kind of say it's a grudge match. But
right. Hopefully there was
that is a really difficult spot to nail on a card, though. Threatening heel that constantly loses you need a special type to do that.
Right.
You know,
Iron Mike Sharp.
To not just lose so much that no one gives a shit. Like to still be threatening but never win a match. It takes a special talent to be that, Brain.
I hope there was a video package where we saw that incident when Jack Cody was just a fan. And now here it is. That would have been good. See, we probably needed a little bit. If I did have a complaint about this film, and I might have more than one, it would be like you needed to build that aspect of it up a little bit more, like the show itself. So it was like the show within the show.
It's weird because like they haven't quite dived. I feel like that might have given away some of what they haven't revealed of the movie yet because they're still trying to play it straight. Like they're trying.
But I think again, if this was just like a show, like, hey, where's like the like, hey, everybody, welcome to Superfights and blah 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 blah. We're gonna see the debut of the All American, and you could show them the incident with.
Oh, I know the clip from them fighting.
You could show the ATM, like the security footage for the ATM and what made him a big. You'd build it up.
You could have the Enforcer like approach him like in the gym. Like, Sawyer signed you, punk, but I didn't forget you getting involved in my match.
Right, exactly. Build, motherfuckers. Build this shit.
The Pulse content we could have got from that.
Oh, my God.
We always hear the announcer's voice on the intercom, but if you look in the background of these fights, it's almost like a judge's table.
Yeah, I'm
It's
judging.
like Flair and Steamboat in 1989. I'm waiting for Terry Funk to jump up and put a bag over someone's head.
You're mixing it all together. You've just encapsulated two different angles in one night, the beginning and the end. Anyway, Budokai and Dark Cloud in the back, they're giving Jack a pep talk. That was good. During the fight itself, Sally starts a Jack Cody chant. And boy, this crowd loves him. After the fight, Sally, however, isn't thrilled with seeing Angel give Jack a congratulatory kiss. And you would think it almost looked like at that point she was like, oh, but then she's like back watching him when we see this montage of fights. So must not have affected her that much. And we then get to see Ryan Campbell, Jack, get to give an autograph to a young kid. And since you've done that before, please let us know how good that feels.
It really does, Brain. Even in my short wrestling career, there was times where take a picture or sign like. It is definitely like a holy shit, someone actually gives a crap, or like even now on YouTube, if a video gets a bunch of views, or people like leave a comment or subscribe or something and say, they're like it's a nice little piece of validation. You can't let it go to your head, but it is nice to get that validation.
Like Toyman lets it go right to his head. He gets one thumbs up somewhere.
So much so it replaced all the hair. There wasn't enough space up there.
Word, you're right. Toyman gets one thumbs up and he's like, oh, this is it. We should go to an all whatever just got a thumbs up format. True or false, Toyman?
I mean, you got to ride that wave of good publicity.
Thank you. One like is good publicity. Toyman.
Poor brain feels very annoyed during the Superfights podcast tonight.
This is I'm super fighting. So yeah, Jack is starting to wonder though. He has a moment of like, are these fighters being a little bit too easy on me? But then Jack
foreshadowing.
A little foreshadowing indeed. That's quality storytelling. Then Jack turns down Angel, who just straight up she just wants to screw him, Ryan Campbell.
She's going for an early addition to the Me So Horny Award for 2026.
You're right. She is. And Jack's
and she's also going to be nominated for Feud of the Year with Toyman here.
Oh, yeah. Toyman already started.
2026 is shaping up, man.
And Jack would be nominated for Shortest Robe.
Nothing says bad. Nothing says bad guy.
Was that meant to be like a female's robe?
Hey, that's what I was thinking. It looked like, yeah. I think he grabbed the wrong robe.
I don't know, sometimes like there's definitely like a cocky heeled, gratuitously short silk robe.
But he's not a cocky heel. He is an all-American hero. So that doesn't fly with me. But anyway,
was he the original? Before the Marvel, franchise, the super conglomerate of Marvel stuff? Was he America's ass? Was that what he was going for there?
Going for a little sexy boy gimmick.
Like, hey, America, like you want me to be your hero, but I'm your boy toy.
Jack. They think I'm cute. Dun-dun-dun.
Actually, well, you'd have to have Angel singing it like Sherry did.
I don't know if Angel's voice could. Anyway, at the Super Fighter gym the next day,
they think I'm cute. They know I'm sexy.
Angel plays grab ass with Jack
in front of all the guys. You can't do that.
And then Budokai's like, "Oh, here, hold it." And he kicks Jack into the wall. And that's like, oh, he must have slipped. Yeah,
Budokai appears to be very fuck this shit.
Yeah, things are turning a little sour, brain. It's getting a little weird out there.
Sometimes this is where, your dream, this was your dream, and is it really going to be your nightmare?
I mean, I had those moments. There was an very early time in my career that I kind of stepped on someone locker room vet toes, and I did not anticipate it being as big of a deal as it was. And, it was a real come to Jesus moment about what this was really going to be like.
You got to navigate those waters.
I did. Luckily, I had Mox in my corner. If it weren't for Mox, it probably would have been much worse than what it was. But
true.
He made it right, and he had my back. So thanks, Mox.
There you go. I'm sure he's listening.
Yeah.
And so then when Jack gets home, a masked man that's totally not Budokai.
he really
masked man secret since Rick Rude showed up in the ECW arena.
Absolutely, yeah, definitely. No offense to him, but that T-zone is pretty recognizable. He should probably get like a full-fledged face covering.
Yeah, so he tells Jack there's a dark side of super fights, which is probably something we should produce for the YouTube channel when the next Dark Side of the Ring rolls out. But anyway, he's like, get out while you can and don't take the pills. Oh, so now a despondent Jack is like, again, he's like, oh, this is all I ever wanted. And now, I don't know, my ass is getting grabbed and I'm getting kicked into the wall. And then I got a masked man that is totally not Budokai telling me to get out and I don't know what to do. I'm just going to walk in the park. Oh, there's Grandpa doing some Tai Chi. And then Grandpa's like, oh, you're a big time fighter now, famous. Why don't you come training? I'm training Sally. Why don't you join us tomorrow, 6:30 a.m.? And now we get to the portion of the movie that I feel I don't like this whole part of the film because Budokai, Night Stalker, and Dark Cloud, we find out they're involved also in crime, and they're muscling in on a gang's action. Toy Man.
Yeah, imagine if they made a WWF video game in 1995 and Vince McMahon had, King Kong Bundy, Sid, and Mabel just going out there and shaking down shop owners.
Yeah.
And you, as Bret Hart, had to stop them and bring the money back to said shop owners. It was a little, you knew something shady was going on with the super fights, but we're kind of veering into your standard beat 'em up action fare now. Like we're kind of losing the plot a little bit.
Yeah, they tried to do too much. I feel like you pick one or the other. Either, I don't know, and I don't even think even bothered me the first couple times I watched it. But this most recent the rewatch for this, I'm like, why are they doing this? Again, you could have done more with the super fights and just been like, okay, it's all, and obviously you could have thrown in some gambling or this or, the drug part is fine. But I don't know. Yeah, muscling gangs like, oh, we want your prostitution money. What the hell's going on around here?
So the movie's kind of all over the place at this point because we are literally coming right off of a scene where Budokai, who it's obviously Budokai, spoiler alert, folks, sorry. Like, I don't think anyone was fooled in 1995 or here 31 years later.
Spoiled fucking Zags being an android. Go on, though.
But, he's like, don't take the pills. Like, there's more to the super fights. Like, kind of like forewarning him of danger yet to come. And then the very next scene, he's just casually kicking the asses of these guys. And if super fights is the most popular thing in the world,
the
most popular fighting sport in the world.
Yeah.
One, why are they all walking around in gimmick beating these people up?
Yeah.
Two, why are they getting picked up from the scene in a minivan?
If Drew McIntyre and R-Truth were out there just shaking down drug dealers every day, it would get pretty.
Why haven't we gotten like an armed response to this at a super fight? Like instead of stupid Jack Cody trying to go after the Enforcer for being mean to Budokai, why haven't we had a gang member like, wielding a switchblade trying to get in the ring for revenge?
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah. It's starting to fall apart here. But then the next morning, Grandpa and Sally...
Soon he's going to try to start his own professional football league.
Something. Do something. But anyway, Grandpa and Sally arrive at their gym, and they're like, oh, no sign of Jack. But wait a minute. He was hiding in garbage.
Sneaky. He's already practicing that like ninja skills, I guess. I don't know.
It was stupid.
Anyway, I'm not really sure what the point, what they were trying to achieve with that.
It was just stupid. And anyway, they do some Tai Chi training. There's some melon smashing. And got anything to say about that, Toy Man?
Not anything to say about what they're doing, because, hey, good for Jack for trying to learn something different for a martial arts skill. But the way that he kind of side-eyes everything, like, kind of like, what the fuck am I doing here? So you hide in garbage because you're anticipating it that much, but then it kind of does that slow motion gaze where he's like looking at grandfather like, what is this?
Yeah.
It was a little weird that it seemed like he didn't really have that huge downfall moment.
No.
Like I anticipated that he would discover what was really going on, get the shit kicked out of him, and like left for dead, which would lead him back to grandfather and learning the Tai Chi and then coming back, with this new skill. I mean, it'd be very tropey, but that's what I was anticipating. But he just kind of like decides like he's starting to realize something's fishy, but then he's just like, I'm gonna go do this now. It's kind of, I don't know, his motivation for all of a sudden going to grandfather was little.
He is all over the place, much like the movie itself. But yeah, he does. The pills drop out as he's leaving. Some pills drop out of his pocket, and grandfather, what are those? I will investigate. So now we go back to
grandfather's Dick Tracy.
Yeah, he's also a chemist. You didn't know
that. Yeah, and a chemist.
Jack goes back to the Super Fighter gym, and he manages to not take his pills. The old sleight of hand. Yeah. Later, Jack defeats Night Stalker, and then goes out with Sally. and goes for the goodnight kiss, but it's interrupted by Grandfather. And now we once again see the Super Fighters engaging in more illegal activities. And as you said, Toy Man, these are well-known people. Obviously, this was all in the days before everybody had a phone on their person and social media to immediately spread whatever they needed to spread. The results, however, are now in. Grandfather has found out what these vitamins are, and they're steroids, growth hormone, and mind control drugs.
All in one.
Yeah. And this is where I wanted to, obviously you have to imagine that the steroid trial had to play a big part in like the inspiration of because that was in Pennsylvania. Dr. Zahorian was a Pennsylvania doctor. So, was Strandberg, was he living there? What was going on? Why were they in Harrisburg? I don't know, but it is kind of if nothing more, it's a very big coincidence that they have this steroid themed storyline going on.
The mind control, I mean, at least it kind of sets up the fact of why these guys are doing this stupid shit. But you why have would it be a result of the drug and not the cult of personality of Robert Sawyer?
Right. And why wouldn't Robert Sawyer have them like go in disguise to do this shit?
Right. Because if he's controlling them, it's like, hey,
you could do. I want you to
put on a mask,
dress up like the San Diego chicken, and go fucking rob a bank. Okay, do it. I'm telling you, I have control of your mind. Sawyer, you dumb shit. Okay, so now it's time for Jack to work on channeling his chi. Have you ever tried to channel your chi? Ryan Campbell?
Chia.
As someone who is a massive Dragon Ball Z fan growing up as a kid, and anyone out there listening that knows, there's times where you were like, can I turn myself into a Super Saiyan? Like, what would happen if I just really sat here and tried to focus my chi and like put the energy inside me into a small ball and all these other things? So yeah, I've tried that. I've done some chi play, Brain.
Okay, thank you. Well, the next day we're back at the Super Fighter gym, and Angel can't help but wonder why Jack isn't getting stronger. But then Jack's like, "Can I go pee, please?" And she's like, "Okay." And he goes and he sees some shady shit going down. So now the other Super Fighters go steal some drugs because they can. Is that
what else are they going to do besides super fight and steal drugs?
You're right. Then we see that among her other duties, she's the most beautiful super fighter. She's a trainer. She's also banging Robert Sawyer.
Where does she find the time in the day for all this, Brain?
She manages. Sawyer asks her about Jack, and then later, Sawyer and his boys, including the Beast. Is this the first time we see the Beast? I believe so.
I think so.
Yes.
As the
Beast, who looks like a roided up Leo Rossi from Maniac Cop 2.
You're right. Well, they visit the drug dealer that they stole drugs from because they found out it was just baby powder.
Nice. That's pretty clever.
Trick.
That's pretty clever from the drug dealer.
And then we are introduced to the world's most dangerous ceiling fan.
That's right. That sucker was on like puree setting.
That was like Abbott Reeves must have taken the fan from out of the Eliminator's ventilation shaft and put it on their ceiling. And you don't have somebody like Conan Lee who could go through the blade. So yeah, they just kill it.
It definitely, yeah, it was a significant raising the stakes in the movie because to the moment everything was kind of playful, and then you're just like, oh shit, okay.
Yeah, they kill a man with a ceiling fan, and dark
blood splatter all over the wall. Like, it just took a dark turn.
Yeah, and Dark Cloud, played by the Eddie Murphy of action movies, Chuck Jeffries, had to hit the fan line. Very well done. We see more of Jack training with Grandfather, and then we cut back to the Super Fighter gym, and these guys are like all getting roided up. And now we have another matchup that just happens. It's the Mad Russian versus the Mercenary, and the Mercenary was played by none other than Rob Van Dam.
Boom.
And you know what was funny was before I came down to record with you gentlemen tonight, I was hanging out with my son and he was watching episodes of City Guys, one of my favorite shows that I watched as a teen, which has become one of his. And he was watching an episode, which I don't know if you gentlemen are aware of it, where Rob Van Dam guest starred as himself. It was during his run as ECW TV champion, and he played himself and he wrestled in a an independent match where one of the kids was his tag team partner.
I had no knowledge that Rob Van Dam appeared on such a program. Thank you for enlightening me.
Guy was all over the place.
And
was he RVD at this point? What year was this?
Oh yeah, he was Rob Van Dam.
This was 95, so yeah, he was just about to break into ECW within
he was
year.
Still doing, from what I on my review that I did of many years ago of this film, Meltzer had reported that they wanted RVD to be the actual star of the entire movie, but he was going. This is when he was going back and forth to All Japan.
I can remember that because this was the time I was getting the Observer from my algebra teacher in high school.
And he obviously couldn't commit to a full schedule, but they did work him in here in this match with the Mad Russian. And the Mad Russian was so mad, they had to use a tranquilizer to put him down.
Yeah, he went crazy and off script. It was just nutso. So, yeah, they had to call an audible brain. Sometimes that happens in live TV.
It does. And then we get to Jack training montage. There's some water behind him. Then we go see Jack go to the Chinese restaurant with Sally and grandfather, and he decides a pop can will be what he tries his chi training on. And it works. Woo! So there you go. Keep trying. Maybe you can move a whole dump truck or something at some point.
There you go. I gave up too soon.
Sawyer is now about to fuck his secretary on the desk when the gangsters, who are the brother of the drug dealer, come, and he's like, we're here for revenge. But now, Toy Man, we get to see that Robert Sawyer is not just an executive.
No, we finally get to see Keith Vitale putting his skills to the test. I mean, we are fans of his dating back to Revenge of the Ninja, but also we just sang his praises from the third entry in the No Retreat, No Surrender trilogy. So now he gets to be a bit of a badass here and eliminate these guys that are coming after him, showing his sadistic side as a character. He's got those little ring gimmicks, and he's also apparently wielding the world's most dangerous pencil.
Well, this side of John Wick, I would say so.
Yeah, also true. Yep, true.
They don't make them like that anymore, Brain.
They don't. And so, yeah, he
now we got these woke pencils that just break.
Oh, my. Here we go. Anyway, Sawyer. Oh, yeah. Jack. So Robert Sawyer tells Jack, I need you to lose to Dark Cloud. Now, as you pointed out, I think prior to recording, Ryan, the beginning when we were introduced to Superfights, like nobody knows who's going to win.
Yeah, they made a point of saying that very early on in the movie.
And Jack, obviously being the big super fight mark, believes what he hears, that nobody knows, and that this is all on the up and up, even though earlier he did have like, are they being a little too easy on him? But he's like, you're going to lose to Dark Cloud. And Jack's like, what?
Kayfabe is dead.
I'm going to lose?
It's no longer real to him, damn it.
And so he goes out there. But that when Sally gets that Jack Cody chant going again, Jack goes into business for himself and just starts beating the crap out of Dark Cloud.
The Harrisburg screw job.
It was. And it was something that Sawyer was not happy with. And he just chews Jack out and says, nobody disobeys me twice.
Do you think he was actually in line for a title fight? He told him to take the fall. He said, I got you in line for a title fight, but you have to lose this match. Like he was telling a story, Brain.
Mm-hmm.
Jack went and fucked up the story.
And this is something that happens. People get impatient and they don't wait. You've got to let this stuff develop and breathe.
That's right. We don't need 50 belts in super fights so that everybody.
They didn't have one belt, did they? Was there ever a belt?
No, no, there was never a belt.
This is what I'm saying. They needed to focus more on the show within the show and less on.
We didn't even get the American hero versus the Mad Russian.
Right. That's the other
I
thing.
thought that's when they first showed the Mad Russian. I thought, oh, okay. After he steps on the line too hard, he'll get put in with the Mad Russian and just get like thrown to the wolves, and then he'll go back to grandfather. That's what will happen. They didn't go that route.
And also, by 1995, the Russian heel thing was not really a thing.
Yeah, it's a little outplayed.
The last time we saw Nikita, he was a babyface.
Cold War was over by 95.
Oh,
and,
yeah. Nikolai had turned
down on his luck gimmick.
The Boy Scouts gave Nikolai a flag or something. I mean, come on now. At that point, Nikolai.
We were well on Middle East and
right. We had new foreign villains.
Yeah.
The Japanese trying to buy everything. So you threw Yokozuna in there and stuff. So come on now, keep up. This is going back to No Retreat, No Surrender, the original, the first of the seasonal 7. All right. Well, anyway, the Mad Russian. Jack not on board. Goes into business for himself. So now it's like, okay, Jack, you can't disobey me twice. So you're going to go out with the boys and you're going to go to the Chinese restaurant to do some collecting. And what a situation this is, Toy Man. It's super fighters versus the wait staff that have knives.
Yeah, it reminded me of China O'Brien too, when the two chefs come outside with the cleavers and then just disappear back into the restaurant.
Right. This could have been quite a fight, but it doesn't.
I think you mentioned, Brain. This is the Chinese restaurant that he was just at.
The owner is more like, you are a customer. How could you
practiced your chi here?
Yeah, how could you do this to me? Well, anyway, it's mission accomplished. We got our money, and they go back to their respective cars that are in a parking garage.
And Keith Vitale in another parking garage.
And this is where Jack sees the Beast for the first time. And I'm not gonna say it anyway. I was going to talk about Angel in between her legs. This is the Beast. And
I'm glad you didn't, Brian.
I didn't want to say that. That'd be very off color.
That would have been. I'm glad you did decide not to do that.
I decided that I'm going to take the high road since Toy Man has been in the damn gutter since this thing began. But he sees the Beast. He's like, what the hell's that? But then Jack gets home and the Masked Man is waiting for him again. And guess what, you guys?
You'll never guess who it was. I was shocked.
There's a bit of a skirmish. Jack gets the mask off. It was Budokai all along.
Who would have thought? This is shocking information.
It was me, Jack. It was me all along.
Oh, the consortium with me.
What the?
Which again begs the question: why is Budokai standing there with like these evil eyes while they're in the restaurant? It's like he's not holding back. Like he seems like very into this whole shakedown scam.
Well, I think
but at the same time, he's telling Jack, "No, this can't happen."
He knows he's in too deep. That's why he's trying to bring Jack along. He's like, "It's too late for me. Like I can't. They'll know if I'm up to something." So
yeah. They do try to go for that, but it doesn't seem like he has regret. Like usually, like you'd get that scene where like Budokai is like punching someone and kind of like holding back, and he's just mean mugging everybody during those scenes.
Perhaps Budokai realized he was not a good enough actor to pull off being a double agent, so he just had to go all in on being the villain. I don't know, but Budokai does tell Jack that the Beast is none other than Mike Rocco.
Bum, bum, bum.
And they need to take...
I can't wait for the scene when Jack has to fight the Beast, his childhood hero, and overcome
Okay, don't.
I can't wait till that happens, Brian.
You're going to be upset. You're filling your head with all these ideas, and if they don't,
That's what wrestling fans do, Brian.
I'm aware. I'm well aware.
Fantasy book and fill your head with what you think is going to happen, and if it doesn't, by God, it's all trash.
Yeah. Well, so yeah, they're like, we need to take Sawyer down. All right. So then Jack goes and takes a shower, and he's having flashbacks of everything that we've seen so far. And but then the next day he's like, okay, Budokai's right, but I'm gonna get in. Keep your enemies close, or keep your friends close and your enemies closer, as they say, Don Corleone. And so he's like, hey, Mr. Sawyer, I'm here. I'm with you. Let's do whatever we got to do. And he's like, oh, that's great to hear, Jack. But then he calls his other boys in. And he's like, someone's feeding info to the police, which if they are, why have we not? It doesn't make sense either, but whatever.
Yeah, they kind of had to invent a way for him to slip up because he's been so.
There's been no sign of the police ever in this film.
But I guess it does make sense, though, that if he is trying to clue in Jack and going undercover, that he was probably trying something else before Jack came along.
Yeah.
So I guess that's what it was. We just never saw him like
why wouldn't he just say, hey, police, Jack or Sawyer is going to have us go to this place, be there, and arrest us, and then it will link back to none of this makes sense. Again, this whole crime part is what doesn't make any sense. They didn't need this stupid shit. Anyway, Jack and Sally are visiting Jack's mom, and a phone call comes in. Hey, Jack, you got to be here at this place. There's the address. And he gets there, and it is the 90s. So, of course, Toyman, it is the site of an underground fight ring.
I mean, we got it in so many of our favorite martial arts films and action films from the 90s. And this one, it almost looks like they're just in the Superfight set, and it's just that the ring has been torn down. But the cage fight gimmick that they use, it appears to be a barbed wire cage with the barbed wire at the top. I know WWE lifted that for their barbed wire cage match. Was it No Way Out 2005? Big Show and JBL. But then it's got the log gimmick in the middle, and for the biggest fight promotion in the world, and with Robert Sawyer being the Vince McMahon of this movie, you would think that they would have some type of mechanical pulley system instead of having to rely on his henchmen to pull the ropes to make the giant barbed wire covered log swing back and forth like a pendulum.
Some might describe this movie as a giant barbed wire covered log, but that's if they really didn't like it. But yeah, we get a cage, and they so obviously they realize it's Budokai who's been leaking the information to the police that we never see. And then what better way to kill him than put him in there with the beast who's like he's a freaking beast, and it's a fight to the death. But Jack's like, oh, we can't have Budokai die. And he convinces Angel, hey, you hit the lights. I'm going to get in there. And Ryan Campbell, we do not get what you wanted.
We don't
get it.
No, and I thought maybe we would still. I mean, obviously, I didn't think this was the climax of the movie, so I thought we were going to get maybe later, but no.
Yeah, he gives Beast that pendant, and then that's it for the Beast.
Yep. Bye.
Looks at it like Lou Ferrigno's Hulk.
Yeah. So
does he die? Does he go off into the sunset? I don't know.
Does
he save the day? Do we get the babyface turn that the world
right? Does he come back later when all the entire Superfights locker room is beating the shit out of Jack, and then he shows up for redemption?
Or he could have torn the cage, like just started ripping the cage, could have fallen on Sawyer and killed him.
Yeah.
No. Like the Frankenstein situation.
I was going to say, Frankenstein's monster kills Frankenstein. Yeah.
Well, anyway, we don't know what happens to the Beast. We do know that Budokai has taken to grandfather to hopefully grandfather could fix him up. But while that's going on, Sawyer has now kidnapped Sally and Jack's mom to force the inevitable Jack versus Sawyer showdown, with the stipulation being if Jack could beat him, they will go free. I guess that's kind of obvious, because if they're fighting to the death, like, oh, I killed Sawyer, but sorry, you guys have to stay in that locked room. I don't like it. Anyway,
and it's like the room is like, I thought it would be like a giant metal door, like a freezer or something, but you can clearly see it's just like drywall with like wooden paneling around the window.
Yeah, you would think Sally and her chi training could have just blasted that door off.
Right.
But yeah, we get the fight. It does seemingly end way too early. But there's a reason for that. There may have been a little possum being played, Toy Man. Sawyer was not as down for the count as we thought.
No, I mean, I will give them this. The final fight was choreographed excellently. This was Keith Vitale on full display, and Brandon Gaines did a great job as Jack Cody. Like, I know he's accomplished in real life. And so this one, and the battle did feel like it had stakes to it. Jack's going to save his parents and everything. But the whole movie's been built around the super fights, and we've essentially forgotten every single other one of them. We don't see the mercenary again. We don't see the enforcer again. We had Night Stalker and Dark Cloud as kind of like the main flunkies, but even in this fight, Keith Vitale is the one who kicks Dark Cloud away, and he's like, "Dark Cloud, what are you doing? Like, let me handle this." And then he just roundhouse kicks him. So the character work leaves a little to be desired, but the final fight choreography was top notch. I'll give them credit for that.
Yeah. And Sawyer does go after Angel and pretty much kills her.
She spit out her cherry coke all over the place.
She's holding on. And then he gets those deadly rings back, and Jack uses his training from grandfather. So that's what you would expect. Ryan Campbell is like, okay, that training has to come into play at the end. So we do get some of that. So some of this stuff makes sense.
Yeah, it took a little long, and it still felt like majority of the final battle he isn't utilizing the skills that he learned. Right. Like I would have thought like he would have had like the focus moment, and then he does like chi for the final few moments kind of thing. But we got a little bit of it.
He does deliver an awesome drop kick. Angel does
Finn Balor shotgun drop kick.
How's it compared to Ricky Rice's drop kick?
Oh, Ricky Rice. What a drop kick. Still the greatest drop kick I've ever seen. Angel has her moment of redemption right before she dies. Then grandfather and the authorities, and these cops are just people with hats on.
From Party USA or something. I don't know.
They're just like baseball caps.
Yeah. They're undercover, Brain. They were undercover.
They're like polo shirts and a baseball cap. The authorities are here. Grandfather then, to put the button on this whole thing, tells Jack he is an American hero. Fuck you.
Of everything, of his granddaughter being kidnapped and held hostage, and all these dead bodies lying around, and one of the most rich and influential sports promoters lying dead against a giant barbed wire log, and your first response is to walk out and tell Jack, "You're an American hero." Right now you might be up on murder charges unless they can prove it was self-defense.
Right. What a flat finish. Flatter than a plate of piss. Come on now.
Like a long
finish, but they bring back the theme song.
Like a long storyline that just kind of peters out at the end, Their wrestling's full of those as well. It's like how like Styles Nakamura at WrestleMania, just like.
Oh, I was there live for that one.
Here we go. Wrestling fans complain time.
It was sad.
They had a very good match.
They did. I was glad to see.
There you go.
They made up for it on SmackDown.
It was Saturday night's main event.
That's what it was. Yeah, that's right. Sorry.
It'd be all right. So yeah, the end credits, as Toyman said, the song comes back. That's nice. But I'm gonna give my final thoughts are.
Go ahead, Brain. Go ahead. You're the promoter. I do feel like we all are a little bit specialized to give our take on this because we do watch all these movies, and also we all are wrestling fans and have even kind of been on the skirts of the business, on the outskirts, a little bit.
Right.
But so I think we're specially qualified to review this movie. But you more than anyone, Brain, go ahead.
We're special, all right. But listen now. I remember the first time I watched it, I'm like, okay, yeah. And there's good stuff in here. There is, and I probably watched it at least one or two more times since then. But this last time of watching it, I just was like, what? Again, all the crime shit makes zero sense. You could have had a story where this guy was just an evil promoter who's forcing people to do these things, take drugs and doing all that. And I don't know. I mean, there could have been there could have been some sort of narcotics situation. Again, he's forcing them to take illegal steroids, but that's good. I'm saying that's good enough. You're trying to do too much movie, and by doing too much, nothing really starts making sense. And there's no good payoff. That grandfather line is the dumbest shit. This is not a good. This is the least favorite of my seasonal films of the seasonal 7, and. It just tried too much. It was all over the place. And I thought Brandon Gaines was very good. You pointed out Toy Man. He was a legitimate guy. And why wasn't he in anything else? I wouldn't want to be in anything else either after this. What say you, Toy Man?
Well, apparently he's very proud of this movie. Apparently, like he talks about it because I guess he's still an active martial artist, and he points to this as being like a big, breakout for him. Uh, this film, I think, suffers from an identity crisis. It doesn't know if it wants to be this PG-13 wrestling adjacent martial arts movie, or if it wants to be more of an R-rated, mature, hey, I'm banging hookers and molesting my female star and making my guys run drugs and people are getting their heads chopped off by fans. So at one minute you're getting like Hong Kong influenced wackiness, you're getting excellent choreography, and then you're getting something that you'd see in like a Steven Seagal direct to DVD movie. So it just doesn't flow well. Why are Dark Cloud and Night Stalker always in the same outfit, whether it's their gimmick or their real stuff? And what is Dark Cloud's gimmick? He's dressed like a pirate most of the time. Night Stalker's just wearing jeans and a vest like he's like a biker or something, but half the time you can't tell him apart from the gang members they're going to shake down. So there wasn't a lot of thought put into a lot of this. It's kind of like, okay, well, we've got the army outfit for the mercenary, and we happen to have this size triple XL Russian outfit, so we'll make this guy Rasputin. But I mean, even the final battle, it's not that Jack needs to get into an outfit. I mean, he fights it in a sweater over a button down. So it's like, I get him, you want him called, you don't want him to be prepared for fight at any time, but it didn't feel like there's something here. There's something that I enjoy here. It's not one of those films that I rewatch all the time, like China O'Brien or Tiger Claws or anything like that. But there are good fights. Keith Vitale's awesome. He's been great. We've always been a fan. The choreography, like I said, there's a lot of Hong Kong influence here. So there's some silliness to it. There's a lot of pop to a lot of the kicks and a lot of the falls being taken. I mean, Keith Vitale delivers like the world's strongest super kick because Jack Cody takes like a flying back bump like 30 feet into the cage. But then the goofiness, you just kind of have to look at it. And I don't know if it's just because we're getting older and we're maturing, because maybe when we were younger, we'd be like, holy shit, this was the greatest thing ever. It's a WWE karate movie, And we were still a year away from WMEC Masters being a thing. So it's not like they were trying to be a derivative of that. Just, I think that they fell short of what they were going for here. It felt like No Retreat, No Surrender met Undefeatable.
Yeah, very good. Ryan Campbell, your first time watching, possibly your last.
Yeah, I think you said it really well early on, Bram, when you're like, you can't think about it too much. The more you really start thinking about it,
and I think that's
and comparing it to other things, and it just doesn't work in a lot of ways. Like you said, Toy Man, there is something there, and I think you heard us talking about it through different ways that the movie could have gone. It could have cycled back around to his relationship with Rocco as being like a significant moment that pays off back at the end, or him having a bigger fall from grace to kind of dust himself up and have that redemption arc. Like, I mean, and these are standard, character, what's the freaking thing called? Journey of a Hero, whatever, tale stuff that they just kind of failed to do. And I think it's maybe because they were more focused on just like the fight scenes and the choreography. When the movie starts with when the opening credits end and you get that last featured thing, and it's not the director, it's the fight choreographer, you can kind of see where the movie's kind of putting its focus. And the choreography was really good in it, but story-wise for me, the crime stuff didn't bother me as much as it did you, Brain. I get what you're saying. It is a little too much. Maybe even just drugs would have been fine. You didn't have to do the hookers and all the other shit. For me, it's more just like the Jack stuff and his story, and had the starts and stops and some of the missed opportunities there kind of really stand out when you think about them too much.
Again, just gambling would have been like, all right, Jack, I've built you up for this big title match, but now, because again, we're playing it like everybody else thinks this is legit, but now, all right, I bet against him though, and so I need you to take the fall. That's another classic.
Yeah, and my guess is they thought all the extra crime stuff would just make the bad guys seem more bad guy, but in reality, something as simple as crushing your hero's dreams,
right?
Both with his childhood icon and realizing that this is all a sham. Even if it was just the fights are fixed, and then he learns about the underground fight ring and the fights to the death, and it's just like that's the it's all crushed. If you do that, then that sells your bad guys as being nefarious and evil well more than just a checklist of like mob stuff that have them do.
And they could have even still had the freaking deadly ceiling fan, but it could have been like a reporter got wise to what was going on, so they pull him into this room, and then
one of the fighters is wants more money and is extorting them for more money or whatever. Yeah, there's many ways he could have done it.
He could have still gotten those kills, and like, oh man, this guy's not just a greedy bastard. He'll kill you if he doesn't get what he wants. So yeah, you could have built up Sawyer in many more different ways, and had a much better thing. This one needs to be like redone. Once we get enough money that we could start making movies, which will be, I'll tell you when that's going to happen, folks. Fucking never. But listen, if we are just pretending, I think this might be the first project I'd like to tackle, a revamped Superfights that makes sense.
Definitely potential there, especially with the merged lines between pro wrestling and MMA nowadays. There's definitely some meat on that bone that you could get a really good story out of. I think
you could. All right, well, there it is, folks. Our Super Fights episode, and I told you, I don't know. I said it was a super episode at the start. That's super is in the ear of the listener.
There you go,
as they say. But yeah, folks, and you could tell us if you thought it was super. You could tell us what you think about this thing. You could tell us whatever you'd like to tell us. It's a free country.
That's right.
Usually.
I think still, yeah.
And in the world.
For now.
Social media. That's what I'm here to talk about, because we're talking about at Bulletproof Pod on X and Blue Sky, at Bulletproof Action on Instagram and Facebook. Letterboxd, we're at Bulletproof Pod. And I'm Chris the Brain on Letterboxd if you'd like to follow either of those accounts. And of course, Ryan Campbell, the YouTube channel. And we should have that interview coming up that I conducted. And we also had the recent reaction video. And who knows what else we'll come up with for our YouTube channel.
Yeah. Thank you, everyone, that checked out our Masters of the Universe trailer reaction. It seemed to do pretty well. So now all three of us gentlemen, we just got to, if you see something I think would be good, we just got to do it. But get some interviews up there, some fresh content in addition to the weekly podcast. So certainly appreciate you guys. If you haven't gone over there and checked out, if you're listening to the podcast on like Spotify or someone else and you're like, I don't need to go to the YouTube channel, go check it out, because we're starting to put some other stuff up there.
Right, some YouTube exclusives. Chad Cruz watched the reaction video, and his reaction was that I wasn't reacting properly. So
everybody's a critic.
Those were the notes he gave me, and I said, well, you know what? I told Ryan Campbell I'm not, I probably be really good at playing poker, because I'm not one of these people who does these things. But also I thought to myself, at least I'm doing something. But, that's what I have to say. And know what I also have to say is that next time right here on the Bulletproof podcast, we're going to revisit one that I have not seen in quite a long time. It is starring the one and only Billy Blanks. It's a little movie called Balance of Power, also known as Hidden Tiger. Toyman, I'm sure you're familiar with this. I'm sure you've seen it.
Yeah, this is one that is in the collection. This one goes back to my favorite year, 1996. But Billy Blanks had that run where he was the leading man. He started to kind of taper off at the middle of the decade, but this was a fun one. I haven't seen it in a while either, so I'm interested in getting back to it and rewatching it for the sake of the podcast.
And I can guarantee you Ryan Campbell doesn't even know this movie existed until about 2 minutes ago.
I don't know. There was, when I finished watching is this one on YouTube?
It is on YouTube as well.
I think it recommended it to me after.
Because
was something with Billy Blanks that as soon as I backed out of it and it refreshed, there was a Billy Blanks movie right at the front.
Maybe it did. Maybe it did.
YouTube might be
they might be wise to us.
Yeah, if the algorithm's that good, brain, holy shit.
We're going to be doing great business. I don't know what that even means. All right. Anything else you want to say, Ryan Campbell?
Nope. Thank you all for listening. Continuing coverage of Night of the Seven Kingdoms going on. I'm going to be so busy with TV series, brain. We got Monarch season 2 coming up, Invincible coming up, The Mall series from Star Wars coming up. I'm going to be doing series pretty much until the blockbuster season starts in the summer. So,
well, that's good.
Checking it out.
I like other people to be busy other than just me. Toyman, anything else you want to say?
Please go and check out the latest No Surrender Cinema. I talk about the movie Under Oath. We've hyped that one recently on the podcast. The article is finally out, and I did not go deep into the spoilers like I would normally do for a 30-plus-year-old movie because this movie has gone unseen by so many people and not talked about for so long. I figured that I would leave it open for people to go and check it out while it's up there on YouTube, or there are some cheap copies on Amazon. But check this one out because I really think that this is a film. If you're into the cop stuff like gang related, Heat, a lot of those mid-90s shades of gray cop thrillers, this is one worth watching. So check it out and check out my review. It's up now at bulletproofaction.com.
What a public service you're providing, everyone, Toyman. You should really be proud of yourself. I know you are. And I know even if you were like, oh, I don't feel so proud of myself. Oh, wait, something got one like. I'm the greatest thing that ever lived.
I have the shirt with the handprint on the shoulder, like Barry Horowitz style. I'm always patting myself on the back.
I'm sure you do. I'm sure you do. All right, folks. I'm going to pat you all on the back for making it this far into this episode. Good for you. And thank you. And as always, stay tuned for more of the Bulletproof Podcast.